We are at 8:01. Do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do.
And are we ready to go?
We are. Yes.
All right. Let's do it. Call to order the Whatcom Transportation Authority Board of Directors meeting for Thursday, September 4th, 2025. Can we please start with roll call?
Yes, Donovan.
Here.
Hawkinson.
Here.
Fortice.
Here.
Lautenbach. Here. Lilyquist.
Here.
Stewart.
Here.
She is here with us online. Williams.
Here.
Darwin.
Present.
And do we have executives to do online? Looks like he is absent and Mayor Blunt is absent. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Item C, Employee Recognition 20-Year Service Award. Eric.
All right. So I get the honor and pleasure of doing this one. Stand up. I get to embarrass Eric.
It's easier on the other side. It's easier to give these.
Speaking of youth, look at that picture in the middle.
Ha! That's what 20 years looks like.
Wait a minute. What's changed? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You got the same shirt. Huh?
Same shirt.
Just changed it.
So we're here to celebrate Eric and his 20 years of service to WTA. HR kind of pulled the date. So Eric was hired in January of 2005. He got promoted to fixed route dispatcher in 2009. Got promoted to an operational supervisor in 2010, and then promoted to director of operations in 2017. And it's been our operations director since. But in addition to leading our organization, Eric is also a leader in transit nationwide, statewide and nationwide, as exemplified by Eric graduated from the CTAA, which is a small and rural and urban collective of nationwide transit agencies. Graduated from their leadership academy and presented a great kind of thesis layout of that. On the state, excuse me, on the state level, I reached out to, we reached out because Rochelle kindly helped us too. And this is what they said. And I was just going to use some bullet points, but they wrote it so eloquently that I thought I would just read it. Because it really encapsulates Eric's service and his heart. Eric has been an invaluable member to the WSTA, Washington State Transit Association Operations Committee since October 2017. This past March, he was elected co-chair of the Operations Committee for a 2-year term as a testament to his leadership, dedication, and what others feel about him. He also took the initiative to lead the 2025 WSTA Dispatch and Supervisor Forum and expanded the forum to include operational supervisors, believing that sharing insights across roles not only broadens participation, but also enriches our collective learning and effectiveness. We're immensely grateful for Eric's passion, expertise, and unwavering support. His commitment continues to drive our committee's success and inspires all of us. And I can't say it any better than that. Just, Eric, it's a pleasure to work with you, and appreciate all your leadership. There's your 20-year pin.
Yeah.
And card from your class.
Thank you.
So thank you. Floor is yours.
Well, thank you. I'd love to also thank the 2004 board of WTA who decided to do a strategic plan that expanded service and brought in a whole bunch of new young transit operators. And without that, I certainly wouldn't be here and have fallen in love with transit. And I absolutely love what we do, the community that we serve and how we serve it and the people that we do it with. I'm super fortunate to get to work here. And it's not going to be 20 years more, but I'm couldn't be more proud of 20 years at WTA.
The other people have said that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. All right, item D, citizen communications. Each speaker is allowed a maximum of 3 minutes. Is there anyone online who would like to unmute and address the board? Seeing none, is there anyone in person? All right. Moving right along.
If I could just, for the record, we have those two written communications from neighbors relating to the acquisition of the public market property, supporting the acquisition.
All right, thank you. Item E, board action. E1, consideration of authorization to waive due diligence contingencies for the public market property acquisition.
Yes, so. If you said, I'll just go.
Yes.
So it's my exciting opportunity to be able to talk about the public market and this milestone that we've reached. The purpose today is to talk about the due diligence that we conducted and ask the board to authorize me to send a letter to the property owner waiving those due diligence conditions and move ahead towards the next step, which would be closing. So with that, just as a reminder for the record and into the future, this grew out of a public process looking at our current station that realized we're at max capacity currently operationally. And then working with the public, what we found was that there are a lot of opportunities with the community and support of the city of Bellingham's goals for downtown and helping to solve community problems, such as transit, such as housing, such as retail in that area and so forth. So started looking around, figuring out other ways to do it. This property came on the market. And what this allows us to do is leverage this to have a full transit-oriented development location that allows us to expand opportunity for 20, 25 years into the future for transit, but also tackle some of the other community desires down in that area, from housing to helping to anchor and end it downtown, to helping economic development, to helping neighboring businesses, housing, so forth. So that was kind of the idea on this, and it ties well to our rapid transit initiative. So jumped in and said, okay, hey, let's do this. So that led to the purchase and sale agreement back in May of 24 or 25 of this year. It gave us 120 days to take a look at the property and understand the risk. Unfortunately, Devin, who led the effort, isn't here. He's not here. Oh, is he on? Oh, yeah. Well, as a complete aside, congratulations to Devin, who just this last weekend had a baby, which is why he's not here. Hoping that he immediately goes back to taking care of the baby after this meeting. But Devin did a great job leading our due diligence team. We engaged KPFF and a few subs through them to take a look at things. What we looked at were things like survey and the maps of the area, feasibility for designs on that, kind of massing studies, what could work, simple cost estimates, and then buildability things like geotech, soils, looking at the hazardous materials, including doing a phase 2 environmental assessment, looking at land uses on there, that making sure that those would support things, looking at utilities, making sure that what are the utility layouts there, what are challenges, things like critical areas ordinances, all those things all got examined. The results were that there was nothing there that we didn't anticipate already being there. Environmental assessment came back clean. There were things that there I'll talk a little bit about what are the project uncertainties that came out of that we need to be aware of, but risks that we believe are worthwhile taking and moving forward with waiving due diligence and moving towards closing. So in the interest of full transparency, what are the uncertainties and that are going forward after this? The due diligence was positive, and what the risks are all things that are normal projects risks, but things that we can overcome and mitigate. So short term, how do we activate the site and get people down there and get that back up and running? So that's one of the short term. Long term are kind of the project development things that you get whenever you develop a project like this, buildability issues. As we were looking at things, from geotech perspective, depending on how many stories, what you do, those kinds of things, looking at that seems to support everything up to like a 10-story building. But as you go through designs, how far down into bedrock and all those things, you have to look at. So those are things what we can do. There's a large utility line that we have to talk about on that that's old, that bifurcates the property. There's an easement that bifurcates the property down the middle, so that we working with the city on some of those things. Nothing that city staff isn't already aware of. We have talked to them about. When we take down the building, there's asbestos. We'll have to deal with that. Those kinds of things, and obviously the permitting and all those things, the design and all those kinds of things go with it. But those are all normal things that anytime you jump into a project like this that you have, and we have a great team to overcome. Some of the other things, public-private partnership is another thing, that uncertainty that we'll have to work forward to, because we don't do housing as an example. But how do we incorporate this? And there are plenty of people who are eager partners to help us make this good. So how do we leverage strengths across private and public, and by public meaning county, city, us, port, for economic development, all those kinds of things. How can we leverage each other's strengths? As part of due diligence, we've had meetings with all those entities. People are excited about it, the opportunity. So then financing, how do you finance a project like this? Because it's our component, but then also a broader component. How do you work those things together? And then the other thing I'll say is a risk is we'll have to build capability and capacity to be able to run with this project. I lay those all out because it's good to understand what the risks are, so you can understand how to mitigate them and how to overcome them. So they're all overcomable, if that's a word. So I'll pause there before I go to next steps, see if there's any questions on due diligence. Allie?
First, I just wanted to state for the record that Satpal joined us a little while ago. Todd, and then whoever has their hand up in the boardroom.
Michael.
Yeah. Okay. What is the requirement for having a feasibility contingency in real estate, etc.? Where does that requirement come from? And because it seems like what we're going to be acting on is waiving that requirement. So where does that requirement come from? What does it involve? And
I'm sorry. It's not a legal requirement, but it's part of the purchase and sale agreement. So while we agreed on things like price and those things, we wanted to be able to examine the piece of property to make sure that it would work for our vision for that property. So in agreement with the property owner, we added 120 days period there where we could get out of the purchase and sale agreement if we found something that would prohibit us from doing what we wanted to do, or there was a risk that we didn't feel we could mitigate through.
So we're waiving that, or in waiving this, we get that. I don't know what.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What we're asking the board to do is under the purchase and sale agreement, waive the contingencies, and that would allow us to then move forward to have a security deposit provided, and then move towards the closing of the property.
There's no risks to us in doing that. I'm not a real estate person.
Yeah. No, the risks, we feel comfortable as staff and are recommending that based on the due diligence that the property is good for what we're trying to do with it. And so therefore we recommend that we move towards closing and acquiring it.
Thanks.
Okay, yeah. Michael, and then Satpal.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank Les for outlining those project level risks, which are not associated with the property per se. But they're should be top of mind for the board. I'm comfortable with the feasibility study, and I will be supporting moving ahead. But I did want to ask a few specific questions just so that I knew them in my mind. You said that there had been an assessment for hazardous materials. Can someone give me a general idea how that was done, like how many bores and how deep? Yeah. And then you said you could build up to a 10-story tall building. So that goes to my specific concerns. Parts of Bellingham are on fill, parts of Bellingham are over abandoned coal mines. So I'm just wondering, you know, what is, someone just give me some specifics. I believe that we can build a tall building, there's bedrock nearby. Can you just tell me specifically about how we found out that to be the case?
So, I'll do the environmental first and then move into the geotech.
Oh, just the Devin unmuted too, just so you know he's
Oh,
available.
okay.
If you want me to
Devin,
jump, let me know.
Yeah, I'll do the environmental and then I'll turn it over to you on the geotech. How about that? Okay, on the environmental, we did a phase one environmental, which is you go out and you look at all the history of how the property's been used, and it's kind of a document review. The property owner shared all his documents. He's owned it since the 80s, but has documents back to the 50s, and shared all that, looked at all those things. There was a small area between the property and the law fed property that because of past use in the 50s with related to cars, there was a small area that they wanted to do boring. So we moved to the phase two. They did 5 or 6 borings into that and found that the soils were fine. And it's clear on that. That's the environmental. Devin, do you want to talk about the geotech,
Yeah,
please?
yep. So we ran through a complete hazardous materials assessment of the building as well. We did lead, mold, moisture. We have fluorescent lights in there that will need to just complete assessment for hazardous materials within inside of the building. And it's all just things that will have to be abated as we do remodels or demolition. So those things it's asbestos, it's things like that. So those are all mitigated and easy to handle. The geotechnical report, there is a slight portion of the property that is within the coal mine hazard zone, which is the corner right next to the WAFED building. It doesn't extend completely into the site, but there is a slight risk that that portion of the property is within that coal mine zone, which we can build around that. We don't know the full extent of that until we start doing excavation, and the coal mine hazard zone is 100 years old, all the records of that. So there is a slight risk, but it's only on a very slight corner of the property, which can be designed and constructed around.
And then you can still build, right? But just how far down do you have to go to hit bedrock?
Exactly.
If you need to put a piling. Those are the things that we
Is it
based on
is it
design.
all a lot of fill or not a lot of fill?
Exactly. There's history of other construction in the area that shows that hey, we can build. There's 8 to 10 story buildings all around. Bedrock has been encountered during Whatcom Creek project, and they feel like bedrock's at about 60 feet here, which could be great, but it's underlined and it moves throughout. So there's no real science that says, hey, this is exactly where bedrock is, but we can be confident that we can meet our needs by other historical projects in the area.
Thanks for the details.
Right,
Thanks, Devin.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry for being tardy. I wanted to bring another point in this regard. I support this resolution. Is that probably several weeks ago we had a visioning meeting with Les and Mayor Lund and Porta Bellingham in my office about the future and what should we plan and how it would impact the other entities. It was very enlightening. I mean, it was a good meeting to do the vision because by the time this project gets underway, there will be different players, different board members and everything. But we wanted to express that what is possible. So the point I want to make to this board and for the record is that we should not underdevelop properties in downtown. Underdevelop is if we make a plan that we're going to make only 5-story building. It is a long-term not beneficial for us. The space is going to be limited. If we want Bellingham downtown to be alive and to be more prosperous and active place like many other city cores are as we grow, I think that, and that's what Devin is saying, it may impact. I think we should look into this thing, that it is possible to build, or is it possible to build 10 or more stories? Because public-private partnership we talked about could not be only on housing and could be commercial. I mean, the place is such that if you take top 2 floors and put some nice restaurants on top, or some other condos on top, it is possible. Or mixed use development of that property. So I just wanted to bring that that we should not underdevelop it, this property on a long-term basis. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
I'll move that we approve resolution number 359-25.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? All right, all those in favor of authorization to waive due diligence contingencies for public market property, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes. E2.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very exciting. There will be one more touch point for the board. Then we have to come back for final authorization as we get closer to the closing date. So on the October 16th, board will bring back a final closing resolution.
Okay, thank you. E2, approval of expenditure report for July 16th to 31st.
Move approval. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments about the expenditures? Right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, seeing none, that passes. Item F, other business. Anybody? Okay, announcements. Fastest meeting ever. We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Wow.